two trades.
Well, I liked him.
I mean, that's just
Yeah, no, we had 3 goals coming in here. We wanted to get bigger. We wanted to add to our depth in the front court, and then also get some scoring punch out of the front court. So those were our 3 goals, and we feel like we accomplished those.
What do each one of those guys bring individually?
Before I answer that question, I do want to take the time to thank the guys that we had. You know, Rashawn Holmes was a professional, didn't get a lot of opportunities, but he was always ready. And then the other 2, Seth Curry, he chose to be here because he was a free agent. And so I think that's important to acknowledge him. Again, another professional. He was great for us. Again, another guy who didn't get a lot of opportunity. And then Grant Williams, another free agent that chose to be here. So I think it's important to thank him for his contributions to the team. So now, what was your question?
In terms of what those guys bring individually.
Yeah, I think if you look at PJ, I think the biggest thing about him is he can score. I mean, I think a couple weeks ago he might have had 40 points or something like that. You know, he can get. Thank you. He can get hot. He can shoot. He can create. So it's just versatility, but also rim protection. You know, he can block shots, and he's big. He can play 4 and 5. So I think that's the thing that he's going to bring to us. When you look at Gafford, big time rim protection, adding depth to our front court. I can just imagine him and Luka, him and Kai, and pick and roll, and what that's going to bring.
With a player like PJ, when you're trying to assess him, when you're viewing him, is he a Mavericks fit? This season, some of his stats are down from where they have been: 3-point shooting, block rate. Is how much, when you're trying to assess him, do you see that as being circumstantial, and how do you see him adapting or improving, next to Luka?
Yeah, great question. Well, I think, when you have really good guards, you get really good shots, and it makes it a lot easier. So I think you just try to envision, what their skill sets are, what they do, and then you imagine them, hey, you're playing with one of the best the best guard in the league. What are your shots going to look like now? And, you're going to have more space, more time. And so I think that's going to be an advantage to him.
Will those guys be ready for the game with Oklahoma City?
We're hoping so, but, a lot of it will depend on physicals for both teams.
When you look at those guys in terms of being puzzle pieces of the rest of the team, it looks like it gives Jason more versatility in terms of the different types of lineups.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. When you say add depth, it's versatility. And the other thing, we've been injured a lot this year. So when you talk about adding depth, it's like when you're injured now, it's like, okay, well we can go. We still have some guys that can go and pick up the pieces and not worry about, oh, he's injured, we got to rush him back. It's like we have more depth now, so we feel like we can match up with anybody.
Mid-January or so, you guys were 7 over 500, sitting pretty despite the injuries. How much did the losing of the last couple of weeks contribute to this, or do you think you guys would have done something?
Well, I think what we added was what we needed anyways. So I don't think it just, adding depth, getting bigger. I think that's always going to help you. Adding a guy that can score, that's always going to help you in any year. So I think regardless of if we were winning more or not, I think we would have tried to accomplish the same things. We know our team, so we knew what we needed.
How important is it that these are both players, 24, 25, who fit, the age timeline of a lot of, the current players?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. For us, I'm always thinking long term and short term. So you got to make sure that you're prepared for now, but also the future. And I think they both provide that.
Is there a chance you guys are not done in terms of buyout market?
Well, you guys know me. I've been here, 2.5 years? You can answer that question.
We know you.
If there's a chance to make our team better, we're going to do that for sure. There's no doubt about it.
Appreciate it.
All right, Nico. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.